Hey everyone, this is just a quick overview of the flow diagram that I created for our project cards. That's certainly going to be the most complex and complicated portion of doing this completely virtually. I made a 20-minute video that outlined this as well, but I thought a flow sheet might be helpful, and I'm just going to spend a couple minutes going through that. So essentially, we start up here at the top where the students download the project cards, fill them in, similar to how they'd write on them in the past. Now, instead of turning them in physically to the banker, they basically send a message, and they're going to use that banker communication channel. So they'll send a message to @banker, and that allows them to tag the banker without having to tag a specific person. That they send that to @banker, and Dr. Powell will be our banker, and so that lets her know that she has a new project card. At that point, the banker's only job really is to check that everyone agrees. So she'll send a note to everyone by basically tagging them. And I'm going to instruct the students again to kind of identify who is responsible for leading each of those organizations that identify on the card. But she really just checks that. So if everyone agrees, that's great. It moves on. If someone in the group says they don't agree, then she rejects the project and tells everyone they have to go back to the drawing board. At that point, the banker's job is done. And then the card moves on to our financial analyst. So that's the next step. So Dr. Powell will then just copy the link to the card. And I have another video that kind of details how to do that specifically, but copies a link to the card and then sends it in a separate banking admin channel that the students don't have to access to. And then she'll send that to the financial analyst, and that will be Amanda Zabala. So Amanda will get the card. And in this case, because it's a private channel, we can't use the tags anymore. So when Dr. Powell sends the card to the financial analyst, she actually has to tag specifically @Amanda Zabala. So she'll send that card on, and then Amanda's job is to do two things. First, to check the cost of it against the project cost on the sheet, and then checks that each group has enough money on the tally board. And again, I'll have a video that kind of goes through that specifically. So Amanda will do those two things. If each group can afford that and they got the cost right, that's great. Project card moves on. If no, then she rejects the project, and then she just sends a note back to the banker, says at Falami Powell, hey, this didn't work. And then the banker Dr. Powell is then responsible for rejecting the project and letting the groups know. So that's only if it doesn't work out. I'm hoping most of the project will work out. At that point, when Amanda's finished with it, she tags the tally board operator. So that's, again, @Amy Baldwin. So she just types @Amy Baldwin and lets the tally board operator know, hey, this project is done. You just need to subtract the resources. The tally board operator then subtracts the resources. Once she's done that, she then forwards this on to the map operator, and that's @Allison Hagen, and forwards that on to Allison, at which point the project is completed and put on the map. So that's the basic flow of how these project cards are going to work. Hopefully they mostly flow this way, but this is kind of where, if they run into problems, that we can reject them. So if you have any questions, as always, just let me know. Hopefully this is pretty clear. Again, I have about a 20-minute video that kind of demonstrates a video of how this is going to work, and I'm going to break down a couple of these steps in more detail in separate videos as well.